Johnny boy, what's up? Welcome to episode 221 of the FLA podcast. How are you?
Awesome, man. Looks like the sun's out today, so huge bonus.
Yeah, it is. Coming out of our 6 months of winter depression. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. After the cold rain we've had for winter.
Yeah, it is a beautiful day here as well. Looking forward to get a bunch of stuff to do outside. So that I'm probably not going to get to because I got more shit to do inside than outside.
Yeah, that's where I'm at, man. Hopefully get a taste of this vitamin D here later.
Yeah. Anyway, big weekend coming up. Obviously, thanks to our sponsors. This episode is sponsored by our good friends at East Coast Financing. Check them out online. Nova Scotia's largest used auto dealer, located in Sackville, eastcoastfinancing.com. Great people as well. Check it out. A new product from Coldstream Clear, their orange vodka soda. Okay, available this weekend at FLA 14 and Kumite 6 at the East End Sports Place. Crack.
Sweet. Yeah, what you need first thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Heading into a doubleheader weekend. It's going to be a big one. Last time we did this last September, it was awesome. It was a great time, and just a pile of athletes put to descend upon Lance, Nova Scotia for the first time.
Yeah, it's funny doing the events in like these smaller towns. Like Pictou, it's Pictou, obviously. Like I have a connection to it. Windsor, you kind of have a connection to it. But like Sackville, New Brunswick, and this one here, East Hants, it's we don't really have connection to any of it. So it's fun going to these little communities and seeing how the community kind of, I guess, if they're going to come out and respond. Yeah, so
yeah, that's a good location as far as bedroom community to Halifax and Truro. So hopefully it makes it easy for everyone to get there. And yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's
two big shows.
Super quick right off the highway. Like it's literally 30 seconds off the highway off that second exit in Elmsdale. So it's a great location that way. And the staff is awesome there in the venue. It's a great setup. So here we are, like a couple days away. It's 48 hours almost away from our first event. And crazy.
Jeez, don't say that.
I know. Everyone thinks about the amount of work that goes in behind the scenes, and I always say in live events, it's like for me, it's like a 24-hour thing, right? Like that's what it is for us. And then for other people, it's like they just think about it when it comes like Thursday or Friday. Oh, I'm gonna go to the fights. And then it's like all the questions really start coming and the work really starts going when people are actually gaining interest. So it's an interesting thing, and the adrenaline is on for sure. But
for sure.
Let's get into it here, Johnny. Kumite 6, we'll start with it Friday night, back with Kumite 6, our 6th edition. Hard to believe we've done 6 of those. Carried Fight League Atlantic and say what you will, but the East Coast fight community through the pandemic. People love those events. All the athletes came out and put on awesome shows, and we're super dedicated. And man, I would have to say, I don't know if this is my favorite lineup to date, but this is a damn good one.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, there's some names people are going to recognize from MMA in the bracket. Ben Lees, Chris O'Toole, Damian Sentner. Like, there's some guys that floating around that same division, and just a who's who. AJ Markett's in there. I mean, we've got big guys, small guys, leg lock guys, MMA guys. It's the men's bracket's interesting, and with Justice in there again defending his title, it's going to be very interesting to see how it all shakes out. And I think now that we've got our format honed down with the 6-minute matches and the overtime, it really keeps the pace up and throughout the whole thing. And then I mean, having a stacked women's bracket this time is very exciting. I know last time we were only able to have 4 women in the bracket. Now there's 8. Which is a huge difference. Like, you really got to go wade through some deep water to win an 8-person bracket. So Sarah's back defending her title as well. You got the usual suspects in there, the bracket with her, along with a couple others that we haven't seen out before. So. Yeah, man, it's going to be killer, right? Great main event. Rob Santos and Presley, like, come on, right? High-level guys there, and then a couple others to go with it. Giancarlo's back with Liam Gallagher, and and a couple young guys, Kyle and Peter Riddle. So yeah, it's going to be a packed night, man. I mean, there's going to be a lot of jujitsu going on, and as anybody that's seen a Kumite to date knows, the cage plays a huge part in strategy and just how these matches go. Right, it's an element that can't be
Fun,
looked.
dude.
Yeah,
It's fun to watch. Like that's
yeah.
the thing about the cage, man. It adds that element of like unexpected things that like the community isn't used to, especially the jiu-jitsu community. It's that we're the only one, like, it's only done twice a year. So how do you get used to it if you're a jiu-jitsu guy? Unless you have
Yeah, exactly. The wall work's a huge part of it, right? And that really helps with the obviously the skill set of the MMA guys, any of the fighters, excuse me. And I like the cage first and foremost because it allows for full blast takedowns. You don't have to worry about going out of your mat space. You don't have to worry about falling off the side, right? So you can just take down with reckless abandon and slam some good wrestling.
Well, and that's the thing, like you said, the who's who in the bracket. You got Chris O'Toole in there, like an accomplished wrestler, super, like, the cage is going to work well for him. You got Wyatt Potter coming in, the tallest active grappler in the world at 6'10", an absolute monster. Look, there he is. He just took out your podcast microphone. Boom. And again. But yeah, and like you said, the women's bracket, it's all of it. I'm super excited for all these matches, and shout out to all the athletes coming in and making the trek from all over the place, New Brunswick, PEI, and Nova Scotia, and everywhere else. So yeah, excited, man, for that event, big time.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good, man. I mean, that'll be a action-packed night. I mean, I don't know how many matches that all boils down to, but it's gonna be a lot, and a kickoff. How many?
25.
25 total. 25 matches. Wow.
Yeah. Longest we've ever done. But
yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
That'll be good. We'll see if the champs can come out on top again. Right. I'm sure they've been training hard. I mean, Sarah's been competing all over the place, literally. I mean, I think she's got to be one of the most active competitors on the planet right now. And
she's the boss for sure.
Yeah.
And then Justice, obviously, he's a dog in there, man. It was nice to see him win that bracket because he's a guy who's put a lot into it, and a lot of blood, with like the sweat and the heart and the soul and all that kind of stuff. Running the club, running the grappling event, Breakthrough Grappling Series. Is a family man, got some kids and everything. It's nice to see those kind of guys win those brackets that after a couple times of trying. So it was cool to see.
Yeah, that's just it. He's a guy we've seen a few times. He runs through the bracket last time with all submission wins. Can he do it again? Right? I'm sure for him that's his goal. Anything less will be.
Dan Kovalchuk, first match. What a match that is. Whew, man.
Yeah. Jeez.
Without like the bracket stacked. So I'm fired up, man. That Liam Gallagher versus Giancarlo match is phenomenal. Kai and Beck versus Peter, like you mentioned, they're both like these future phenoms. They're both young. They've competed against one another before. Kai put a little like post up there yesterday, like just a post up. He got gold and Peter got silver, and he was like, "There's only one." Or 2-0 or something like that. It was just that little fun trash talk back and forth. And Peter's a gamer too, so all of them, man. It's going to be a super fun weekend. The All-Star Weekend. Here we go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, and Dave Manuel's making his commentate debut. Shout out to Dave for the Kumite. We're going to throw him in there for the Kumite with Tim, and so get those pay-per-view. Pre-orders available now online, fightleagueatlantic.com, and tickets as well for the Kumite online. And then walk-ups will be $30 cash only if you're coming to the Kumite. Cash only at the door.
Yeah. Kumite's general seating only. So get your tickets and get in there early. Get your spot.
Yeah, you sit wherever you like. You can sit in the floor or whatever you like. So
literally on the floor or in a chair or in the
yoga mats.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We've decided to take out our chairs and everyone will now sit on the floor. You get a yoga mat.
Renting chairs is expensive.
You can't talk at all when you're here.
Yeah.
No drinking anymore.
Yeah. It's gonna be a super fun event. No, it's gonna be sweet. I mean, Friday night's gonna be packed. We're gonna be in there first thing. I mean, we've got the lighting and the rigging going up Thursday, so we can get in there first thing with the cage and get everything all set up and ready to rock, man. I mean, we're gonna pull no stops and blow it up for the Kumite, and then sort everything out again, clean up and straighten all the chairs and tables, and then we come in Saturday with a banger card. I mean, we've had a lot of ups and downs on this one. You especially, with the majority of the matchmaking. Yeah, this is from FLA 14.
I look like a bag of shit because of this business. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's hard on the head, man. I mean, we've dealt with just so many injuries and guys dropping off for whatever reason. But we do have still a sick lineup and 2 title fights, man. I mean, 2 big titles on the line. The vacated 55 amateur, and then of course, we're still trying to give away that pro belt. Christian's coming in for the belt once again, and
most expensive pro belt on the planet. Well,
holy shit, man. Well, not on the planet, but definitely if we're in Eastern Canada for sure. But yeah, he's coming in. I mean, with him and Tyler in the main event, Tyler Van Kill, man, like, this is the guy that's going to show up. And we know Christian's going to show up like he always does. So, but yeah, not to skip over everything, man. Like, I think our opening fight on FLA 14 is going to be absolutely bomb. Like, this is what I really don't want to miss myself. Nathan Millette, of course, with his kickboxing, and Reed Primo, who is like such a character, right? Like, he's got a ton of amateur boxing experience, and he's a guy I've actually recognized from the amateur boxing scene. He's so recognizable. And that video that came out with him and Gerald, man, his training montage is next level. Yeah, he's unreal. So yeah, good kid, and just but he's a fighter through and through, man. He just loves to get in there and scrap. So I think this first fight to kick off the card is going to be one that every other fighter on the card is going to have to be like, oh shit, now we got to pick it up for the whole night.
Yeah. Well, that's it, man. Like, he's been hyping up the card. It's like much like Ben Lees. Like there's some people that just, some people don't need to talk at all. Some people sell tickets without talking. But
absolutely.
the name of this game is entertainment and selling tickets. And I will say, like, we don't, back in the day, a lot of people, as you know, John, like, you'd go around, you'd grab tickets, you'd have to go to people who sell them, collect the cash, bring them back, come to weigh-ins. Before you weigh in, you'd have to meet and give the money back, and you're missing this money or whatever. Like, no, we don't ask anybody to sell a ticket, but because we don't, it's your jobs to get in there and compete. So, fighting and selling tickets are a different thing, but you can have that ability to really make yourself known. And I think, like, if you have that dream of going to the UFC, and I've said this in other podcasts, like, if your dream is to be a fighter, it starts now. Mm-hmm. Like, it starts now at the amateur level and building your following. If you want people to come and support you over and over and over again, you have to build a following. That means you have to be out in the community doing certain things, and like that kind of thing there. Like, he contacted Gerald, did that all himself. Good on him, man. And same with Nathan. Nathan went and did his own little reels himself. Like, that's what you want to see, man. Like, we'll share that stuff and collaborate all day with that kind of stuff, because it's awesome. Like,
it's amazing, man. And you're absolutely right. It's just the world we live in now. Like, your social media following and everything else. Like, the guys at the highest level are also getting signed because of their ability to sell tickets. And
that's how it works. If there's no people in there, then we have no tickets to sell. So
these shows cost a fortune to put on, and if tickets don't sell, there's no show. So, these guys, obviously, we want everyone to have the ability to come out and fight, regardless of, we're not concerned with your social media following at this point, of course, but it sure helps, and if everyone wants to see you fight, then guess who's fighting?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you show up and you obviously have to perform well, but there's good guys we've had on our cards before. Like, they don't always win, but they always fight their ass off, and they've got a following, and people love to see them show up.
That's huge. Like, people can say what they want, but selling tickets is important, massively important. If you want to be on cards, like, and if you're won a certain amount of money. Like that's how it works. So yeah. Anyway, moving on to the second fight, the battle of the two OGs.
Yeah, man.
Levi Nickerson, a guy who trains out of your club, and a guy who's been around for a long time, versus another guy who's been around for a long time, trains out of Merrimack, Chris Boyd.
Chris Boyd, man. He's a dog. I mean, yeah, obviously Levi's my guy. You know, he's been training with me for a long time now. But you know, Chris is one of my favorite people as well, man. Like he's just such a great guy, so easy to work with, and he always shows up to fight, right? And you know, these are guys going in there. There's no animosity. You know, our team loves Chris and Marmac and everything they do, and but it's a great opportunity for these guys. You know, both coming off losses to go in and get some retribution, man. And I know Levi's coming to bring the heat, and I know Chris is going to do the same thing. So, you know, both these guys, I think, feel a little bit like their backs up against the wall, and I have no question that they're gonna put it all out there. And they're both into the advanced amateur rule set now, so that's a huge thing too. You know, opening up the ground and pound and just being able to utilize further their entire skill set and their whole game, right? So interesting to see because they're both super high jujitsu guys, high level jujitsu guys, but you know, very good grapplers, but also a willingness to stand and bang. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where this one goes. I have a feeling I'm not going to say anything, but I have a feeling I know where this one's going to go right away.
Yeah,
Right away. But I could be wrong.
I got a feeling too, but it's probably the opposite of what you're thinking.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. That's the beauty of this kind of stuff. You like that's fights can go any way, and at the end of the day, man, I think it's a great fight for both of these guys. A great fight for the fans. A lot of people know these guys in the local community.
Great fight for the fans, exactly.
Like you said, retribution. That's a great word for it because both of these guys, deserve that chance to have that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one, man.
Same, buddy.
And moving into the third fight of the night. Jeremy Miazga Griesbach, butchered his name probably, versus Alex Market. Alex is our current 170-pound amateur champion, coming back to become possibly the double champ, taking on the surging stud out of Santos Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Jeremy come down here and pulled off a quick win. Looked very impressive. And then, of course, Alex came down. You know, him and Luke had that fight at 170, and Alex managed to pull off a victory. What's that?
They were both super quick.
Yeah, right. And I mean, Alex is undefeated. He's 4-0. There's another advanced rules fight. He wanted to go down to his true weight of 155. Luke decided to vacate the belt. He's gonna, I guess, move professional, move up into the pro rankings here at some point. Jeremy stepped in, and him and Alex are going to go at it for the 155 belt. It's a 5-round fight. And who knows, man, like they've both got great jiu-jitsu. They're both, pretty seasoned fighters at this point with 4 fights apiece. So yeah, it's going to be a high-level amateur title fight, and may the best man win on that one. I can't even pick a winner. I really don't know. That's going to be a tough one to call, man.
Yeah, it is. It's an exciting fight, man. Like, you get a kid from Alberta coming in versus a guy from Ontario for your amateur title fight. It shows what kind of reach the promotion has, though. Like when these guys are coming in from all these other provinces to compete for your amateur title. So, both great teams, wonderful guys, and I think you're going to see a lot of respect from both of them. And I like that. This is one fight I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, or I don't have a clue of. One of them could pull guard for all I know. Like,
yeah, really. Anything could happen, man.
Yeah.
So cancel each other out and become a kickboxer fight.
Yeah, exactly. So who knows? But I'm excited for it. And, again, both two easy guys to work with, but 2 great guys. The medical's done easy. It was great. So game changer for guys going. It's true.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if we've never had a fight go 5 rounds, but if it did, I mean, think about that time in the cage, like
Yeah, we did.
every
Devin versus Dylan in the last card.
Oh, you're right, absolutely. Jeez, my bad. So, yeah, but, like, I mean, 5 rounds in that cage, if you can do that in one fight, that's a lot of experience to gain in one evening, and that's obviously gonna be carried forward
Yeah.
going on. I mean, every minute you spend in there competing is, just a huge amount of experience.
Yeah,
And that's what it's all about, man. Get your time in on amateur.
it is. It certainly is. All right, moving into the next fight. First pro fight on the card: Abdel Aziz versus Juan Pablo Lerma Lopez, coming in from Predators MMA in Mexico, taking on Abdel out of Tower One, 2-0 as a pro,
Yeah.
taking on Juan in his pro debut.
Yeah. I mean, Abdel looking to stay undefeated. He's been nothing but dominant. Like, we've seen him constantly improving and just a very high level guy racking up W's.
And
Juan
smiling the
Pablo,
other way.
yeah, and,
Love it.
this guy's willing to come in and challenge the hometown fighter, see what he's got, and coming in on his pro debut. Um, yeah, who knows, man? It's awesome to see Abdel constantly testing himself, and it's nice to
Yeah,
see guys like Juan Pablo willing to come down and test his mettle against someone who's already
for
proven to
sure.
be a force, right? So
Yeah,
that
he's
says something about him and where he's at. Yeah.
he's a stud for sure. Like shout out to Abdel too. Like the kid was willing to step up for us in the last card, go up and wait and fight somebody like with 2 days notice, like
Yeah.
up and wait. That's what kind of guy Abdel is. Um, he's a stud. So I appreciate that guy as always. Kudos to you. But Juan, yeah, like you said, man, coming in here and taking on Abdel. Not a lot of people are looking to take that fight, and
No.
like Marco came in and fought Drake in the last fight, and Juan was in his corner, and so he got to see a little bit of what how things work out here, and he's excited, man. He's ready to go. He's training there in Toronto now, and flies out tomorrow, and ready to go. So
Yeah, man.
it'll be a
It's
good one.
coming. It
Exciting.
is.
It'll be a really good, fast-paced fight, I think. Like, which leads us right into our next fast-paced fight.
Yeah, speaking of fast-paced fights, Jake Kelly looking to remain undefeated as well, but taking on Gino, who's already had 6 pro fights, right? He's got a bit more experience in there in the pro rankings, and he's up there at Vision Quest and Adrenaline, so he's surrounded with top level training partners, and more than willing to come down to Nova Scotia and step in against Jake, who, I mean, everyone in the country's got to know who Jake is at 125. He's been on the scene for quite a while, had an extensive amateur record, and he's looked nothing but phenomenal, since we've been working with him, and it's been a few years now. So always improving, really mixes it up well everywhere. And yeah, man, I love the flyweight fights. Like Jake's last fight was incredible.
Yeah, it was
He
fun to
he
watch.
had a great opponent across from him, and those guys put on an absolute show. So I suspect nothing less will come from this matchup on Saturday. And it'd be obviously if Gino can beat Jake, he stops a hype train that's really picking up steam. And if Jake gets through Gino, then that really moves him up. I mean, being able to step up against that experience level and see what he can do. That's what it's all about. I mean, kudos to both these guys for taking the fight, and kudos to Jake for looking to move that much further ahead in his career this time. So yeah, we'll see how this all shakes out, man. Tower One in there versus
We need
all.
a kudos counter.
Yeah.
How many times you say kudos?
Props and kudos, and yeah.
It's true though. Like that's a great way to say it. Like Jake, if he gets through him, then it gets through Gino and makes it like, man, he's a force to
Yeah.
be reckoned with. So,
Well, yeah. Who's he going to fight then, right? So,
Matt Dawson.
You say name what?
Matt Dawson.
There you go. Way ahead of the game.
Yeah. Possibly. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I know that's a fight
Exactly.
Jake can do. So,
Yeah.
and I believe they would take it with the right, with the right camp or whatever. So we'll see what happens. But Yeah, it's a great fight between the two of them. Great, great guys and great athletes, man. So may the best man win for sure.
Absolutely. No, it's exciting. These high level pro fights are always super fun to watch and then just a treat for the fans. Like there's always such a difference, excuse me, between the
Oh,
amateurs, especially the early guys in their amateurs against these guys that have had, 6, 7, 8, 10 fights,
yeah.
between
You see the
amateur and pro.
progression in the card too. That's what I love about it. Like, we have the ability to show progression in our cards, and like as you go through the card, it changes. Where, like, I'm not saying other events are, but when you start the card, it can go either way. But like if you start the card with a super boring fight, then it can be a long night, right? So yeah, I think amateur fights always deliver in a super fun way, and they're great ways to start the card. So but moving into our main event, folks, moving forward with 6 fights on this card, 2 title fights. Christian Savoy, the Tiger, hometown, or St. John, I guess, versus Morel PEI's Tyler Squid Vicious Van Kill. Great fight.
Yeah. Tyler Van Kill, a guy we tried to get on FLA1, didn't work out. He ended up moving to Mexico, get a bunch of fights. No one wanted to fight this guy. Now he's back in Canada. He's in Edmonton now, is that right?
Yeah.
Was in BC and then went to Mexico and then back to Edmonton, I guess, but originally from PEI. And just a crafty guy. You never know what Tyler Van Kill is going to pull off. He's such a gentleman as well, in outside the cage. A lot of respect between these guys. I mean, we saw the podcast the other day they did, and just a ton of mutual respect. Both of them super grateful. The other guy's going to show up. They've both dealt with many guys dropping out or getting sick or whatever the fuck could possibly happen in the last second. Christian's lost more fights than I don't know. So
You gotta feel
you
bad
know,
for this man. So it's ridiculous.
absolutely. Like it's devastating for them, and he talks about it a lot. Like it just plays on your head until you're walking across the cage towards the guy. You can't really relax now because it's happened to him so many times where the plug's been pulled the last second. Just like our last show. He was the main event, and his opponent ended up unfortunately in the hospital the night of weigh-ins, and whatever shitty thing could happen has happened. So Tyler coming out, like I said, we're super confident both these guys are going to make the walk. They're professionals. They've both been through the same struggle with guys dropping out and fights falling through and everything else in between. So Tyler's coming in 4-0 undefeated. Nobody's been able to figure out the puzzle that is Tyler Van Kill. And Christian Savoy, of course, one of the most dominant fighters we've ever seen on the East Coast at 9-1-1. He's only lost once to a guy that's in the UFC. And he's dominated with how many finishes? 6 or 7 finishes, I think. So,
yeah, I don't know. It's like when you talk high level fights, it's like I know Justin McKenzie put that before in another post. Like it's in my opinion as well, probably the most high level fight ever on the East Coast, and one in Canada too. Like this is a really high level fight. I'm pumped for the whole weekend, but it's a great fight to cap it off. Like
yeah.
Styles make fights, right? And this is a fight that stylistically is going to deliver. Both of these guys want to fight. That's the difference. Like both of these guys are going to go in there and they're going to fight and put on a performance, win or lose, and may the best man win, like they said. So, it's yeah, like you said, man. Until that cage door closes at 7 o'clock, or even the doors open at 6. Like probably more so at 7 o'clock though, because who knows what can happen. Like the variables in this thing is like the folks
it's crazy.
in the variables on this is like it's the hardest thing in the world to put together, and I'll stand by that. Any
Yeah.
any event anywhere, logistically, the hardest. So kudos to everybody involved and the athletes for sticking. So,
Yeah.
that is going to be a great weekend, Aaron. Going to be a good fight. I agree. Probably Dan McDonald, I guess, from Truro, maybe. But yeah,
absolutely is. I mean, the winner of this main event, man, like who knows where they'll go after this fight. Either one of these guys with a win is in a great position to either obviously defend their title against a very high level guy in FLA, or who knows? Maybe that's time they move off the regional scene and this is their ticket. So I know they're both coming in looking to advance their careers. They're both in their 30s. They don't have a lot of time to screw around as far as that goes. And yeah, training hard, taking it very seriously, obviously. And they've got five rounds to work it out, man. So we might see, who knows? Like Tyler's got hands as well. He might choose to stand with Christian.
And Christian's got grappling.
Christian's got grappling, exactly, which people underestimate because his striking's so powerful. So who knows? With Tyler Vanko, who knows, man? You could be upside down and on your back with 3 of your legs or whatever wrapped around your neck, and who knows?
Shout out to, I saw a cool graphic, man. Hinchy,
I did too.
Yeah, that the squid versus the tiger. That was really cool to see. Hinchy's super talented. Shout out to Matt Hinchy Photography, great guy, great artist too, rapper and stuff.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, like overall, like I don't have a ton more to add, folks. And I don't know about you, Johnny, but like we got a big day ahead of us. Both of us, a big couple days ahead of us here with work behind the scenes to get before we make our way down there. So. Shout out to all our fans, sponsors. Get those tickets, fightleagueatlantic.com. Quite a few tickets left on the floor. Not quite a few, maybe 10 or something like that. Tables and then, a certain amount of floor seats left. But pay-per-view is up there. And Coldstream's going to be at Cold. And make sure you come check out the new flavor, Orange, this weekend at the East Hanson Sportsplex.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah. Fight League Atlantic 15 tickets will be on sale this weekend, Saturday, live at the intermission. Boom, boom, boom. And we may be dropping the main event. Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. I mean, we're last couple of days of preparation here for this one. Everything's in order. We're gonna have 2 great shows. Gonna have a solid weekend. It's gonna be awesome. I know I say this every time. It's gonna be awesome to just see the whole community come together once again, and see all our friends from across the country that are involved in this crazy and awesome sport. And great to see the grapplers, see who shines through on that one, and into the MMA card the next night, and gonna be 2 new champs.
Yeah, let's go. All right, love it.
Looking forward to it.
I want to dedicate this episode to my good friend Chasen Rorson. I love you, buddy. So yeah, before we get out of here, anything you want to add, buddy? Anything else?
That's it. Tickets at fightleagueatlantic.com. Tickets at the door. Day of, cash only. Bring your whole family. Bring your dog. See you there.
Bring your dog. You might see Silly Willies. Do not bring your dog.
Yeah, do not actually bring your dog.
No. That's the question before. This is not an airline where you can bring your dog.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so do not bring your dog. But Silly Willy bullies may be outside with their dogs, showing the dogs off.
That's all I need is another dog.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Have a wonderful night. We will see you Friday night in Lance for Submission Kumite 6. Again, get those tickets, fightleagueatlantic.com. For Friday, Saturday, pay-per-view if you can't make it. And lots of love to everybody. Have a great time. We'll see you soon.